The miraculous pyramid is 5,000 years old and 2,600,000 solid stone pieces collected without cement and stones, God willing. Each one is between 2 and 15 tons. The height of the pyramid is 149.4 meters, and the ceiling of the king's chamber alone. The single piece of stone in this granite ceiling weighs 70 tons. How? This stone has risen to such extreme heights, and there are no developers, no diesel cranes, or nothing electrical cranes. How did this story happen? In the past, in primary schools, they teach us in their books that the pharaohs built something like an earthen embankment around the pyramid, like an earthen platform made of brown bricks, and then they dragged stones on it, a pile of wood, something to laugh about. This is, of course, nonsense. How do you drag a piece? One granite unit weighs 70 tons on a wooden spool, and what is it used for? On an earthen embankment, how can you do this? You have to first build a concrete mound and then bring tractors with steel wheels to remove 70 tons. How many people are pulling? There are 100,000 workers, of course, pulling it. Take care, where will they stand on this earthen embankment? Then how come the virgin wood remains? This is all stitches and not all of it. It is not possible, in fact. These marriages have risen. In my opinion, there is no explanation at all for this fairy tale, except that scientists in this era had a secret method and a special science by which they manipulated the Earth's gravity. I mean, they did what they now call anti-graffiti, or they created an anti-gravity zone. The story that they are doing now in America and Russia, which is anti-graffiti, must have had this science exist. Once upon a time, he had reached the point of perfection, and there were scientists who were able to overcome gravity. Of course, if they overcome gravity, the 70-ton stone will still weigh a feather. That's it. The matter is over. Then the issue does not stop at this point, because the geometry of the corridors inside the pyramid, the rooms and spaces. The heaviness of the granite means that when we look at the granite, we find its insides polished like a mirror. So ask them, how can we stand confused and not find anything? Interpretation. Then the strange calculations. When you come to measure the rest of the pyramid, you find that the circumference, which is the constant relationship between the circumference of the circle and its diameter divided by the height of the pyramid, equals 3.14 comma, which is pi, or the approximate ratio. Not only that, when you are in the king's room, you also find the circumference divided by its intersection of 3.14. The coffin is also divided by the circumference by the height, so all the rooms of the pyramid are in this way. It is not a coincidence that this is the same in design and engineering for people who are interested in mathematics, whether it is medicine or why they did this. This is also a secret. Alone, the height of the pyramid is 149.4 meters, and the distance between the Earth and the Sun is 149.4 million kilometers. Is it a coincidence that D is the unit of measurement in the pyramid that they call the pyramidal inch? It turns out that it is approximately equal to the English inch. The location of the pyramid is exactly in the text in relation to the continents. The 5 faces of the pyramid, which are directed to the cardinal directions, east, west, north, south, and not any north. This is specifically the magnetic north, because the direction is exactly like this in the onion, east, west, north, south, and not any north. It is the magnetic north in particular. This is not simple. The passageway entering the pyramid points to the North Star, and the inner vestibule points to the Star of the Yemeni Hare, as if this pyramid were an observatory. What exactly is the story? The limestone cladding of the pyramid was one of the wonderful things, and was originally, after the pyramid was covered with this covering, the pyramid was completely smooth, engraved with a gold pattern, with golden engravings, and tables on it, and astronomy with pharaonic cartouches on it, secrets, numbers, tables, and things like this. Well, what exactly is the story? What is the truth about the pyramid? It took us a long time ago in schools that it was the burial place of fear, and this is reasonable. All of this is all to bury fear. What is the secret of the passages inside it, in that there are more than one room in it? A second room for the queen, underground, in this strange architecture. Even we do not know who built it also. They came up with a theory that those who built it were scientists from the continent of Atlantis. The story of the continent of Atlantis is that it was a continent in the ocean and sank, and Plato talked about it in his memoirs when he was in Egypt. He heard about it through the priests, in that this island was an island, meaning it was advanced in civilization and had reached tremendous sciences. Then people entered into wars, and knowledge, the enormous power that God gave them, turned into evil. God drowned them all, and some of them survived, and some of them came to Egypt and say, "This is the one who built the pyramid." There are other words too that know this is the one who built the pyramid. These are the ones who descended from the sky. I mean, in the end, we do not believe that our ancestors, the pharaohs, are the ones who built the pyramid.